when Baron Jacob Nathaniel Rothschild, hiding out at Maastricht's house on hill in Zug, Switzerland, was identified as the head of the Khazarian mafia. Rothschild reached out to the White Dragon Society via a nephew to negotiate a peace settlement involving an exchange of gold for money and the establishment of a future planning agency. This is now on hold because the New York branch of Khazarian mafia, headed by the Cohen crime family, blocked it. Rothschild family sources say the final Khazarian mob holdouts are trying to present White Dragon Society plans for the world economy as socialist or Stalinist. They are hoping to use either Vice President Joe Biden, Democratic Party hopefully Bernie Sanders, or U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump as people who will be informed the existing system enough that they can avoid rebooting the system altogether as the White Dragon Society proposed. Legally, the United States corporate government is now under the control of United Nations Corporation headed by Baron Rothschild. However, the status of the United Nations Corporate itself is doubtful because they have neither the gold or the moral standing to maintain the current chaotic and planet-destroying system they oversee. Rothschild and Khazarian mafia control has been reduced, in essence, to the bankrupt G7 group of the nations. Notice that while all the other leaders are waving in the group photo, German Chancellor Angela Merkel is making the sign of Horus in her hands, using the button on her jacket as an eye. Since Merkel is the only leader there who is of Saxe-Gotha-Rothschild bloodline that runs the G7 and the Eye of Horus represents supreme leadership, she is sending out the message that the other leaders in the photo are just servants. What's important to know is that the White Dragon Society and its allies have identified the names and locations of all the top members of this ruling bloodline and have the technical capability of removing them from this road. Doing so would be the very last option the White Dragon Society would take and would only happen if it became necessary to do so to prevent genocide. The point, though, is that the families that currently control the G7 and the UN cooperation are no longer in any position to dictate the world. The financial system, the source of their power, is now based almost entirely on fraud. The Rothschild once famously bankrupted the Bank of England by taking their paper money and demanding payment in gold. The White Dragon Society and its allies are now in a position to do the same to the European and U.S. bloodline families. The London and U.S. gold trading markets are now trading 600 times more paper gold than they have real gold to back it with. Almost all of the real gold in the world is now in the hands of the White Dragon Society allies. What this means is that the White Dragon Society is now in a position to offer to trade gold for all outstanding euros and US dollars that can be traced to legitimate commercial activities. After a 2-month window, US dollars and euros would no longer be accepted for international payments. Under this proposal, the U.S. military and agencies would continue to be financed using the new currency. This would essentially remove the final vestige of power of the Khazarian mafia. In such an event, the White Dragon Society is proposing that all legitimate commercial activity continue as always. The illegal drug trade and other gray area activities would be given appropriate legal status and move into the new system. The future planning agency proposed by the White Dragon Society would start by hiring as initial planners for setting up the agency, about 7 to 9 people. For example, either Chinese President Xi Jinping or Vice President Li Qiang could represent China, Donald Trump or whoever is selected as president to represent the U.S., Russian President Vladimir Putin or Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to represent Eurasia, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to represent India, someone to represent the Islamic world, perhaps the Indonesian President Joko Widodo, someone to represent Africa, possibly Jose Eduardo dos Santos of Angola and Angela Merkel of Germany, or some suitable substitute to represent the old bloodline families of Europe. This list is just what the Japanese call a takakidai, or initial proposal designed to stimulate debate on a particular topic. The members of this agency would continue in their current jobs and would contribute to the future planning agency through part-time consultations. The main initial job of the agency would be to stop the ongoing destruction of the planet. This means stopping environmental destructions, ending poverty, ending war, eliminating disease, and otherwise restoring the planet to full health. After this, the Chinese could work on their plans for a high-tech, world-spanning communications and energy grid. The Americans could work on a swords to plowshares transformation of the military-industrial complex and focus on future technology and exploring the universe. The Russians and Rothschild could work on Russian-European economic and social integration. The Africans would work on modernizing Africa in tune with traditional culture, and Modi could continue his good work on Indian subcontinent. The Islamic representative would need to work on ending the Sunni and Shia split and bringing full peace and prosperity to the Islamic world. The U.S. military-industrial complex would help end the Khazarian war mongering and troublemaking in the region. Most future planning agency projects will be put out to competitive bidding and run by private sector, which is why it will never become a Stalinist-type central planning monolith. The above is meant to be a starting point of serious debate about how to improve the running of the planet. As mentioned above, the current system under the UN corporate run by the Rothschild is bankrupt and largely dysfunctional. There is thus an urgent need to start working on rebooting the system in a manner that is more beneficial to the humans and other life forms on this planet. The White Dragon Society believe we need to start with a campaign similar in scale and ambition to a world war, only this time the enemy will be poverty, environmental destructions, disease, and anything else that plague this beautiful but fragile planet we all share. A jubilee or one-time write-off of death and redistribution of access will be a very good way to start us on a track to exponential growth into the future. The Asian allies have already offered an initial tranche of 20,000 tons of gold to be sold at a 13% discount in order to back this White Dragon Society plans. The buyers of this gold could then use it to back the projects, while the sellers of the gold could use the money they received to do the same. The planning agency would use its shares to, according to the best practice known, to hire some of the most intelligent people on the planet to come up with visions of the future they wish to turn into reality. In any case, negotiations are ongoing, and the above represents the initial bargaining position of the White Dragon Society and its allies. If no counter-proposal is received within a week, the White Dragon Society and its allies will officially go on the offensive in ways that will be both unpredictable and worse than they could imagine. For now, the attack on Khazarian Mafia is proceeding as follows, according to White Dragon Society agency and Pentagon allies. The oil concessions in the Middle East are under siege with assaults on ISIS in Mosul, Fallujah, and Raqqa, the sources say. On Israel's border with Russia, has armed the Hezbollah militia to the teeth and returned a destroyed Israeli tank from 1982 invasion of Lebanon as a warning to the Israelis, the sources say. On the financial front, the BIS, the World Bank, the New York Stock Exchange, and the Federal Reserve Board have all been hacked, agency sources say. The U.S. Treasury Department, now free from Khazarian control, is issuing a new $20 bill that will either be backed by Asian gold or will be a new U.S. domestic currency, depending on how financial negotiations go, they say. Asian allies of the White Dragon Society have attacked with Khazarian-controlled SWIFT international payment system in Bangladesh, Vietnam, the Philippines, Ecuador, and elsewhere. The new international currency to replace the euro and US dollar will use the CIPS system since SWIFT cannot deal with China's yuan, the sources continue. US President Obama was ordered to meet with atomic bomb victims in Hiroshima last week and called for a world without nuclear weapons in a cryptic US and Russian warning to Israel they will have to dismantle their nuclear arsenal, Pentagon sources said. Despite move by to influence, the upcoming US presidential election will be all stopped, the sources say. As a result of this, Khazarian presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has shown signs of mental instability as prosecutors move in on her and force Obama to stop trying to protect her. To conclude, if the Rothschild and the fellow Khazarian gangsters fall to negotiate a deal soon with the White Dragon Society, they will have no bargaining chips left and will be forced to panhandle on the streets of New York and elsewhere for pocket change on the streets of New York and elsewhere, if they are lucky. A nephew of Jacob Rothschild was supposed to contact the White Dragon Society this week. We hope, for the sake of what extended family, that he does. World peace is now a realistic possibility.